Morning intuitives. Been a few days, I know. Okay, microphone's on. I still am never sure if I turned it on or not. Had a few side jobs to take care of after work, so time is a little short the past couple days, and yesterday was my day off, but I really didn't feel like doing much after long shifts and side work on top of it. I intended to, but the best of intentions. So, hi new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to this channel, despite the fact that there's, nothing fancy about it. It's a nobody talking into a tablet, and a less cheap microphone now. I actually broke a 50 this time instead of breaking a 20. But topic I wanted to get into today, it was something that's been on my mind the past couple days, is the narcissist epic hypocrisy. If you've dealt with narcissistic abuse, and I would say in particular narcissistic baby boomers, though I think all narcissists do this tactic. Baby boomers just take it to a higher degree, but that's pretty much their MO for everything, because in their mind everything they've done is epic, everything they've done is the best, and everything they've done is to be cherished as if it was anointed down, from the goddess herself. Like, these are the true chosen people, the white baby boomers. All they touch turns to gold, You should be honored to be in their presence. Yeah, kind of thing. At least a lot of the ones I know. I'm not accusing all baby boomers of acting like this, but it does appear the majority is like this. And just to clarify, a lot of people, when I say the word majority, are like, well, I know plenty that aren't. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. Sometimes when people hear the word majority, they think you're saying like 80, 90%. No, by definition, 51% is a majority. So, before you disagree with me of how many boomers are like that, do you really believe it's less than 51%? Okay. So, back to hypocrisy. Do as I say, not as I do. How many of you have heard that from narcissistic parents if you were raised by them? And there are other examples of their hypocrisy because, one, they believe the rules don't apply to them. See, to the narcissist, it's like, no. I make the rules. I'm me. I'm above the law. I'm above everything because I'm me. I'm an anointed one. And you see this, with not just narcissistic baby boomers. I said all narcissists, but particularly narcissistic members of the old boys club will often act like this too. Great example, we're going to talk about a little recent news and to prove that, this will help prove my later point in this video, but I want to prove my consistency first. Joe Biden, great example of a hypocrite. You can listen to him, it's all over YouTube, various clips of him going on and on about the crime bill. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, I would say go look it up and listen to it. It's, an abhorrent bill that Joe Biden authored in, I believe, 1994. It was in the early to mid-90s. It was under the Clinton administration in his first term. And it basically, what it did was it cracked down hard on drug users, but particularly those in poor minority communities. And basically, like a small little bit of crack for personal use would land somebody 5 years in jail. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with law enforcement going hard after the drug dealers, but to go after people that only have drugs on them for themselves, personal use, they're only harming themselves. But there's a hypocrisy, of course, because of course Joe Biden, being the quintessential good old boy, his son Hunter has been in and out of the best rehabs money can buy multiple times. Recently there's him filming himself weighing quite a large quantity of crack, far more than any person I would assume would have for personal use. I don't know, I've never actually seen crack in person. I've seen just about everything else from my days, my first stint as an EMT back in the mid-2000s when I was in my late teens. I never saw crack. Well, where I grew up was more of a meth type area. Anyway, is Hunter Biden in jail? No. Why? Well, because he's the anointed son of, the quintessential good old boy. So there's no consistency. They don't care about, actually being consistent or actually having a belief system. They care about, I am in the club and you are not. And, you should be honored if I even acknowledge you, for I am great and you are nothing. And even if I disagree with somebody's beliefs, like Tucker Carlson, for example, there's a lot or most of what Tucker Carlson says I disagree with. However, I do respect his consistency. He's like a true paleocon, and he will call out members of the Republican Party who go against his ideology. He's not just a cheerleader for the GOP establishment, unlike the king of hypocrites, and this is what I've been building to, Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity, great example of typical, hypocrite. And the most famous example, and again, you can watch the clips on YouTube, don't take my word for it, he loved the Patriot Act when it first came under Bush. And he's like, oh, you're helping the terrorists if you're not for that. But then as soon as Bush left office and Obama came in, all of a sudden it's like, this violates Fourth Amendment search and seizure, which honestly it does. And this is horrible and all that, and Obama's a dictator. It's like, but wait a minute. That came in, that came in the law under Bush, and it didn't change. All that changed was the letter next to the guy's name who was in the White House. So if it's under a Republican, it's good. Even if it remains completely unchanged under a Democrat, it's bad. That's just hypocrisy and double standards. So with a narcissist, their hypocrisy, as I said, knows no ends. Even if you catch them red-handed, you can't call them on it. I'll give you a personal example, as I normally do. A few years back at some stupid Christmas party for the Queen Bee narc, the patient zero of Chestertology, the one who started it all. It'll be a separate video, but it all traces back to the narcissist. The main narcissist in your life is usually going to be the source of most of your misery, as I, just recently found out in the past 2 years, really. But anyway, Christmas party at the Queen Bee narcs. I decide I'm going to be there for a couple hours. I'm going to have a beer, and I was like 32 at the time, with my dinner. And I'm going to be there for like 3 hours. And mind you, one beer, and I'm 6 foot tall, about 175 pounds. So one beer will not put me over the legal limit. But they had a fit about driving this and that. Meanwhile, my 60-something uncle was throwing back Manhattans like it was no tomorrow, staggering drunk, can't form words. Oh, he's fine to drive. It's different. It's different for people like us. See, it's different. A baby boomer, it's different because one, they actually said, well, he can handle himself. It's different for him. And also, like, well, the laws were different when he was a young man. It's like, what the fuck? You're not grandfathered in to what the drinking and driving laws were, when you came of age in the 70s. It's not like the cops can be like, whoa, you blew up .18. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know you were a baby boomer. I'm sorry to bother you. I know you got it completely under control. Please forgive me. Don't take my job. That's how the Chestertologist thinks. That's how many narcissists think. Even if you question them on their hypocrisy, it's like, who are you to question me? I said something, therefore it's true. You are nothing and I am everything. I by definition can't be a hypocrite because everything I say is by definition right because I'm me. That's how you basically drill it down with how hypocrisy works with the narcissist. You will never convince a narcissist that they are a hypocrite. Deep down they know it, but they will never admit it. They'll always try to beat their chest and, basically try to berate you and tell you that you're nothing and that they're unquestionable and unfallible and, like they're so infallible they should be walking around in white papal robes because they're them. You'll definitely get a narcissistic rage up when you question a narcissist on their hypocrisy. And it is interesting how a narcissist, they love to judge other people, love to judge them. But if you dare hold them to the same standards that they themselves made, they freak the fuck out. Because it's like, wait a minute, I'm not making up these rules. These are the rules that you made, narcissist, that you say for whatever delusional, made-up reason, because you think you're some kind of fucking queen, that you get to make the rules. It's like, but wait a minute, why do these rules not apply to you? And more specifically, your, lay about malingering, unemployed, adulterous son. Oh, because he's your son. That's different. And how dare you hold him to the same standards? He's above the law. He's above the rules. And that's basically what it boils down to with the narcissist hypocrisy. Understand, it's not just that the narcissist makes the rules. They make, the rules as to who the rules apply to. So they make the exemptions, they make the pardons. In their mind, they control anything, anything and everything. It's not just I decide what's right and wrong and what's acceptable. It's I can change it on the fly at any moment based on who who's involved. And you see this with narcissistic bosses too, and I've encountered this where they'll let one of their little favorites, no call, no show 2 days a week for months, come in drunk, come in an hour late every day, and nothing. They'll pass, no problem. We need that person. What they're really saying is, I like this person. Whereas, like, somebody else, could come in 15 minutes late because they got stuck behind, a road work or something on their way in that they didn't know was there. And they'll throw the narcissistic boss will throw the fucking book at them. That's what you have to understand above all else with narcissistic hypocrisy. There is absolutely no consistency to it. There's no way you can make sense of it. And there's no way that the narcissist is going to admit it. Now, in the case of a narcissistic boss, if there is somebody above them, I would say, and as I have done, write a very proper, intelligent, professional letter to whoever their superior is, and write out what was done, when, the rapidity of these events, and who was there to witness it. Because then that they can't answer for that. They can't. It's glorious when a narcissist can't answer for their narcissism and hypocrisy. But in the case, outside of work, you're never going to get a narcissist to admit their hypocrisy, because in their minds, by definition, they can't be hypocrites, because hypocrite is a pejorative and they are perfect in their own eyes, no matter what. There is ways to hold up the mirror to the narcissist, and they will wither like Mumra, but that's a video for another day. So, I hope this helped. Just be aware, know what a narcissist is if you're dealing with one. No contact's always the best, but if you're a victim of narcissistic abuse, learn as much as you can as fast as you can, and it'll make dealing with it better and make you know much sooner that it's them and not you.